Thank you for joining us on ABC 10 Weekend News. I'm Austin Castro. We begin with a weather impact alert. Another storm is hitting Northern California this weekend, bringing more soaking rain to the valley and more snow and dangerous travel conditions in the Sierra. Caltrans is now urging drivers to avoid weekend travel if possible. Let's get a full check of your weekend weather now with meteorologist Brendan Minchef.
Good Saturday morning. It is likely to be a pretty wet weekend. Today, more off and on rain in the valley with some thunder potential, as you see there. Tomorrow, I expect a bit more of a consistent rain, not as many pauses in the rain. We'll see that on Futurecast in just a minute, but do know that we are tracking plenty of weather as we head through the weekend. Today, rain and some thunder in the valley, highs in the upper 50s to low 60s. That average high is 55, so we're a bit warmer than normal for early January. 58 in Sacramento today, 61 in Stockton, 62 in Modesto, 57 in Vacaville, 58 in Fairfield, low to mid 50s across the foothills, upper 30s and low 40s in the high country with plenty of snow. No matter where you are across Northern California this weekend, you're going to be contending with some sort of weather. That weather impact alert in effect through Monday. 1 to 2 inches of additional valley rain. In the high country, we'll be looking at 2 to 4 feet of snow at the ski resorts, at the high passes, at lake level. We'll be talking about inches of snow. Just consider your weekend plans, whatever they may be. If you're in the valley, it's rain and thunder. If you're in the Bay Area, it's definitely rain with the possibility of an isolated thunderstorm. But if you're in the high country, it's winter weather. It's cold, it's snow, it's chain control. So again, no matter where you're going, know the type of weather that you are going to be contending with. Winter storm warning in effect until 4 p.m. on Monday. Flood watch across the Sacramento Valley, the northern coastal range, and the foothills, including the mother lode. So even though the San Joaquin Valley is not in this flood watch, the adjacent foothills are. That flood watch continues until 4 p.m. on Monday, and we also have a wind advisory for the upper Sacramento Valley. That continues until 4 a.m. tomorrow. Level 1 marginal risk for some strong to severe storms today, tomorrow. The threat for thunderstorms is not as great, but it is still there. So we'll be tracking the potential for thunderstorms both days. But remember, today is going to be that better day for thunderstorms. So we'll pick up Futurecast early this afternoon. Plenty of snow up in the Sierra. And you see some of those stronger rain bands, some of the thunderstorms moving through the foothills and the mother lode early this afternoon, some out through Mendocino County, and as it is going to push into the valley. So by 4 o'clock, we're still looking at some scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms, snow in the high country. And this is just going to continue to push into the valley, through the Bay Area, through the foothills all day long today. But the prime opportunity for those thunderstorms is going to be in the early to middle part of the afternoon. So even though we have rounds of rain in the valley, that snow up in the high country is pretty steady. As we get to Sunday morning, again, some more consistent rain developing, but snow is going to be moderate to heavy all day long. So again, weekend plans, no matter where you're going, whether you're staying at home or headed somewhere else, there's going to be some type of weather to contend with. On Monday, things do wind down a little bit. However, we're still going to be tracking some rain and some snow as we head through Monday afternoon. Just be mindful of that. As we look at rainfall totals through the weekend, we're talking about an inch or so of rain in the valley. Again, inches of snow in the high country, but feet of snow at the high passes. And by Monday afternoon, again, 1 to 2 inches in the valley and feet of snow, 2 to 4 feet of snow in the high country. And despite all this, we are still doing all right with our rivers. And even though some of the weirs will be flowing, especially along the Sacramento River, we are not in danger of any type of flooding on our major rivers. So, of course, that is some good news. Over the next 3 days, that weather impact alert is in place for thunder, wind, rain, and of course snow. But as we work into the middle of the week and towards next weekend, we enter a drying pattern. We're going to have more sunshine, but we are also going to be cooler in the afternoons with highs in the upper 40s.
Thank you, Brendan. Now that rain started coming down around 7 last night, took a slight break and only picked up from there. This storm is just getting started. While the valley sees rain, the Sierra is bracing for heavy snow and dangerous travel through the weekend. Here's ABC 10's Garjpal Sangha with more on what to expect.
It took a while to get here, but lately rain has made its presence felt across Northern California.
Do you enjoy the rain?
We need the rain.
Do
I don't
you
really
enjoy it?
I don't really enjoy the rain. I'd rather be down in Cabo or somewhere, but we need it.
Robert Long is coping with it. Dancer Monica Patino embracing it all in Old Sacramento.
Rain or shine, yes.
Patino traveled from Madera for the first time to Old Sacramento, dancing through the downpour without even checking the forecast.
Once the music is on, it's just your whole body and soul just takes over and it's another world.
And in many ways, the Valley and the Sierra feel like two entirely different worlds of their own. Caltrans officials say this storm is far more than just an inconvenience in the mountains.
If someone doesn't have to drive, to just avoid it altogether. Wait out the storm till things clear up and then go to your destination.
If you can't wait, Caltrans' Jeremy Linder says expect spinouts, crashes, and long delays. And most importantly, stay on the highway and don't trust your GPS's rerouting skills that got this semi-truck stuck on the back roads.
A lot of times in the thick of the storm, those secondary routes, they're not plowed as frequently as our crews do on the highway itself. And you end up in a situation that could be much worse.
Like getting stuck in a snowbank. If you have to move through the storm, it is recommended take it slow and find a way to embrace it.
You have to keep going, push through. And we need the rain too.
And that is something we definitely do need. Now, Caltrans says if you must travel, make sure your headlights are on, your vehicle is prepared, and never drive through flooded areas. Reporting from downtown Sacramento, Garch Balsunga, ABC10.
And speaking of weather impacts, here's what the Sacramento River looks like following the most recent round of rain. Last week's rain brought the river level to 23 feet. Right now, it sits at 19 feet. That is expected to change again over the next few days. Meanwhile, in the Bay Area, take a look at this. King tides have flooded parts of the Bay Area. This is a look at Marin County. The Bay is also bracing for another storm moving in this weekend, bringing gusty winds and a chance of thunderstorms.
Friday's floodwaters still covering roads as Marin County residents brace for another king tide event.
We've lived here for 47 years. It's never flooded like it has today for some reason, and I can't figure out why.
The Redwood High School parking lot in Larkspur becoming a place to play.
It's a lot of fun. It's like wakeboarding, but it's like through a parking lot, so it's just fun.
What gave you the idea to do it?
I'm not gonna lie, we were just like scrolling on TikTok the other day and saw some people doing it down in the south, and then we saw this was flooding, and we were like, hey, why not?
Headlamp on and shovel in hand, neighbors helping neighbors into the night.
I just came home and it was after the high tide, and I have a lot of bark in my yard over here, and so I was just trying to clean up a little bit because the drains get really stopped up. So I was just trying to be neighborly and clean them out a little bit before the morning.
We've lived in this house for 30 years. We've never had water come as high as it was yesterday and today.
Linda Suddeth and her son navigating something new, having never had the need for sandbags before.
Today it was flowing down the side of the house on both sides and into the street, and then it was filling up the street and coming up to the level of the bottom of the garage door.
Here it's all about protecting the family home, the home her son's known almost his entire life.
Yeah, seeing it come through the front of the garage, I'm 31 now, and so I've never seen that.
Now, to track the latest on this weather impact alert, be sure to download the free ABC10 app. President Trump confirmed strikes on Venezuela, saying Nicolas Maduro and his wife were captured. Multiple explosions and low-lying aircrafts were heard around 2 a.m. local time in the capital city of Caracas. You're looking at video of the aftermath, this video airing on local TV stations in Venezuela after the strikes. The FAA is now banning U.S. commercial flights in Venezuela airspace over ongoing military activity. This all comes after weeks of the U.S. ramping up pressure on the government of President Nicolas Maduro, including seizing 2 oil tankers and conducting deadly military strikes on alleged drug boat smugglers. This week, the Pentagon released video of 2 vessels being hit, saying they were transiting along known narco trafficking routes and engaged in narco trafficking. At least 115 people have been killed in more than 30 strikes since September. The U.S. also deployed a large-scale buildup of military forces and assets in the Caribbean. In recent weeks, President Trump declared that Venezuelan airspace should be considered closed in its entirety.
So how far would you go to take Maduro out of office?
I don't want to say that,
But you want to see him out?
His days are numbered.
Can you rule out an American ground invasion?
I don't want to rule in or out. I don't talk about it.
The U.S. recently added Maduro and his government to the State Department's list of the world's most dangerous terrorist organizations. In a pre-taped interview this week, Maduro accused the U.S. of mounting a months-long pressure campaign to force a regime change and to gain access to its vast oil reserves. Maduro has also denied having any ties to the drug trade, accusing the U.S. of using the drug smuggling as a way to oust him from office. And turning back to that weather impact alert from coast to coast, the country is battling extreme weather. In the east, a powerful winter storm blasting Syracuse with blinding snow, and here on the west coast, flooding and high winds. Here's ABC's Allison Kosick with the latest.
A powerful winter storm is blasting Syracuse. Bitter wind chills dropping into the single digits. Blinding snow turning roads dangerous and leaving drivers stranded. In Buffalo, Highmark Stadium offering $20 an hour to anyone who can shovel out the seats ahead of Sunday's game. Here in Wasatch Mountains in Utah, authorities warning anyone coming through the Cottonwood Canyons area must have chains on their vehicles.
Grab it! I can't! You can't?
And new body camera video from Long Island. Police rushing across a frozen pond to save an 8-year-old boy who fell through the ice on Christmas Day. You can see officers sliding across the ice to reach him. The boy sharing a warning.
Do not walk on the ice.
Out west, a month's worth of rain falling on San Diego. This Tesla seen struggling to navigate a flooded street. In San Bernardino County, first responders rescuing a toddler and guiding others to safety after their cars are swept away by rising water. Farther north in the San Francisco Bay Area, extremely high tides inundating neighborhoods. Wind advisories now posted for much of coastal California, with gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Another round of heavy rain expected through the weekend. And back in the Great Lakes, up to 1 to 3 feet of snow is possible across western New York through Sunday. Allison Kosick, ABC News, New York.
Thank you for joining us here on ABC 10. Have a great Saturday and a wonderful weekend.